Welcome to Living Ardently. I'm your host, Adrian Giraldi, and today we are back with another COVID collab, whatever you want to call them. I don't care. We're here with another international guest. It's going to be super dope. Stay tuned, and yeah, let's get into it. So we are back with another COVID collab, like I said, and today's guest is a watercolor lettering artist. She's an ex-competitive swimmer, and she's from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Crazy. You can follow her at City on a Hill Co. Please welcome my guest, Amanda Pasawa Lee. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Finally.
Yeah, it was
after lots of conversation and here and there.
It's crazy. I mean, like the last week, I had Quayne come on, and she is from Australia, and you're from Malaysia. And I did not expect when I started this. Was I gonna have somebody from across the world.
Yeah.
Which is insane. So it's really exciting to have someone like you and Quayne come on and be part of this awesome COVID collab month. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for being willing.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's like an unintentional thing.
Right.
That,
yeah.
When you're just doing it for the sake of, you just love what you do, and suddenly you're just like, whoa, connecting with so many people that you never imagined.
It's true. I mean, like, for this podcast has gotten me connected with so many random, like, awesome people that I didn't think that I'd, like, ever be in contact with. I've made friends through this podcast and Instagram and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I mean, and it's simple, like, things that it's just really great how Instagram gets people connected, like we were talking about before this. And I mean, you simply just followed me because I did a live stream with Jarrell from The Living Person, and here I am, like, my co-host and I just did a live stream, and then here we are a week or so later, less than a week later, and you're on the podcast. Crazy. No, it was more than a week. 2 weeks ago. That's so cool. When I started this, I really wanted to have an artist of sorts to come on and chat. So, like, I knew that this was something that I needed to do when I started getting in contact with other artists. And I was like, oh, she's really good. I mean, and then I remember, I'll get this into later, but I remember your handle from when you were a different handle. So that's really funny.
Yeah.
So we'll get back into that. But I want to start off with a game. You cool with that?
Sure. Yeah.
We'll do a rapid fire Q&A. I have 20 questions, and we'll see how fast you can answer them. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll give my best.
All right. Sounds good. So they're completely random. I took them from a website, and I did not make these questions myself. So if they're weird questions, forgive me. All right. You ready?
I hope so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
What is your favorite thing in your closet right now?
Wow. I don't know, because it's like during COVID, I don't really open my closet for something that I really wear.
It's true.
I think I would go for my jumpsuits.
Nice. Great.
Yeah.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever received? I know, I didn't either. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Stay humble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any pets?
No, I used to.
What was it?
I used to have a cat, like a childhood cat, and then it passed on because it was too old. My niece used to live with us, so she got herself some fish. So it's actually her pet, but it's still in the house.
Nice. What was your favorite movie ever?
Oh, Oh, The Greatest Showman.
Oh, that's a good one. I love that one.
Yeah.
Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
Rebellious. um, high spirited and tough cookie.
That's good. What is in your handbag right now?
My wallet and some, I guess, lip balms or something like that.
Right. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, people fidgeting like, you know how people like shake their legs or that I really cannot stand. My boyfriend does it. I'm like keep telling him about it, and he says like what? And the thing is, he doesn't even realize that he's doing it.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. I was talking to my girlfriend the other night, and I was just tapping my foot as I was editing, and she was on FaceTime, and she said, "Can you just stop that?" I was like, "I gotta go." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, You're tapping. I hear it." Like, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's oh my gosh. Same boat.
Like I'm shaking my leg right now.
Oh really? Okay, that's all right. At least I don't get to see.
It's just you started talking about it, and made my leg want to do it.
Oh no!
Kidding. But I'm actually am. I'm not even kidding. Like, all right, milk or dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Yes. If you could be if you could be from any other decade or era, what would it be?
Ooh. Perhaps the 80s?
Ooh, that's a good one. If you weren't in the magazine industry, if you weren't in the magazine industry, what would you be doing? Wait, sorry. This is for specifically first person. Sorry. I just realized it's literally made for somebody who is in the magazine industry. Okay.
Oh, it's all right.
If you weren't doing the job that you're doing, what would you be doing?
Like my full-time job?
Yeah.
Or pursuing art.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite your top 5 favorite artists?
Oh,
Music
wow.
artists.
Music artists. I hope Christian bands, I guess. Bethel. I seldom listen to like radio songs. But gosh, I cannot. Okay, top 5.
I'll give you top 3. One more person.
Okay. Wow, this is hard. Hillsong, I guess. Because I'm so bad. I don't listen to the radio at all, so I'm not sure like what is hit.
Yeah, that's funny.
But the only person that came into my mind was Justin Bieber. But I'm like, no, don't say that. No, he's not.
That's like, so funny.
No, why are you in my head?
That's hilarious. If you could have any 3 people for dinner, dead or alive, who would they be?
Ooh, Saint Therese of Lisieux.
Nice.
Saint Pope John Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And Saint Joan of Arc.
Oh, that's good. Those are good
Yeah.
ones.
Sorry, all the saints.
That's so good.
Oh my gosh.
If your house is on fire and yet you can only go back to get 2 things, what would you get?
Oh. My altar side table. And I guess my iPad.
Nice. Name a book that you've read positively. Name a book that you read that shaped you positively.
Ooh. Forming Intentional Disciples by
Like Shara Waddell?
Yeah. Wow, I just finished it. It's here. It's here as well. I got it here behind.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's a good book. It's good for ministers out there.
Yeah.
If you're in ministry, go read that book. That's so great. Who would you play? If there was a movie about your life, who would play you?
Ooh. Oh wow. Man, I'm so bad with like actors. Gosh, I cannot think of it.
No one.
No one. I think I would play myself.
There you go.
I'm a like my own actress in my own room. Like,
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
If you had a spirit animal, what would it be?
A koala bear? A koala.
A koala. Favorite TV show growing up?
Oh my gosh. I don't think you'll be able to know this, but in Malaysia we have this cartoon, like a character kind of thing. It's some sort of like a Mr. Bean because it has no words at all. It's called Pingu.
That's hilarious. That's fantastic.
It's like a penguin. It's like a penguin, but like a really low quality kind of cartoon. But yeah, I love that. I love that.
Favorite childhood memory?
Favorite childhood. Okay. I used to I don't know if you mentioned like competitive swimmer.
Yeah.
So I remember there is one time where I was swimming training, and like I was a really rebellious kid last time and was super stubborn. And so in the training pool, there is this corner of the pool that has, I think there was like a pillar or something that had light, that had shadow into the pool. So as I was swimming, I got so tired and I didn't want to carry on. So I hid in that shadow. And every time I lost my breath, I would go up to the surface of the water and just like and then go back down.
Oh my gosh.
And then I did, in my head, I was really young, like I think primary school, like 7 or 8. So I was hiding in the shadow, and then I did not realize that people could see me, because in my head was, when I hide in the shadow, no one can see me, I cannot see them, and just hide. So I thought I can get away from it. So we had a China coach that came and coached us, and he saw me. And the next time, I think it was the second time I went up for a breath, and his head was just right above the water, and he shouted at me. He said, "What are you doing there?" I'm like, are you done with your laps or something? I'm like terrified, but that was so fun.
That's so funny. How long? So fun. How long could you hold your breath?
Not for long. I was really, really tiny. So I went, it was for a very short period of time. Yeah. But it was like the memory is so vivid, and like just to hear his shout at my ears, it's crazy.
That is so funny. Yeah. That's so great. What is the best gift you ever received?
Ooh. Oh, okay. My boyfriend folded an origami flower bouquet.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, I love flowers, but to me it just dries and just wilts, and I feel it's a waste of money. Yeah. So he did that for me.
Wow, that is so good.
Yeah.
That is so good. And then last question. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
I would travel through time.
Ooh.
And to have a peek into the different,
that's a good one,
decades, and yeah.
That is a good one. I like that. Awesome. there you go. Now we know a bit more about Amanda. And maybe
I hope it's something
maybe she knows a little bit
that you
more
laugh
about
about.
herself.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's not something that we usually think about.
Right. That's why I
until
like.
someone asks you.
Yeah, that's why I love rapid fire questions. You're just like, like, I guess this. That's great. So,
Thank you.
awesome. So you are. I followed you back when you were, Therese Wrights, or was it
Little Flower Rice.
Little Flower Wrights? And I remember.
Yeah.
I think it was when I was doing my T-shirt company, but you said that you had recently just come back on.
Yeah.
To Instagram and post your stuff, but your art is so great.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. A little rusty still. So I'm
Rusty.
getting back at it.
Show off. Way to be humble. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it is rusty because after 2 years of just not doing anything art and not posting, it's
Y'all need to see. Look at her art and tell me that's Rusty, man. Y'all, this is great stuff.
Thank
Also-
you. That's like after a full month of practicing.
Also, your what you call it? Your aesthetic is really great. It's like always high colored, well lit. I like it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much.
yeah. What was I gonna say? You outside of but before we get into that, you didn't just do art. You were saying earlier you did competitive swimming, and you swam for the state and even Malaysia at some point.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. It was like a sort of like an accidental
Yeah.
discovery kind of thing, the same
Uh-huh.
as my art,
Okay.
but this one in swimming.
Mm-hmm.
So last time when I was really young, my parents would go for snorkeling.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Just us as a family
Yeah.
snorkeling.
Yeah.
And at one point, the speedboat that we were on
Mhm.
just died on us. The motor died,
Oh wow.
and we were strangled at the middle of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to we were stranded in the sea. I cannot remember like exactly how long,
Wow.
but after that incident, my dad got my brother to get into swimming.
Okay.
So I was I think just 5 years old, 4 or
Wow.
5.
Yeah.
So I didn't get into swimming,
Mhm.
but I was seeing my brother swim every night.
Mhm.
And so that got me into the water, just playing around. And I
Mhm.
just told my parents that I wanted to give it a try as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. And yeah, that's just like the start of my swimming career, if I would like to put it
Wow.
that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your background, your faith background, and where how your upbringing and stuff like that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, sure. So I got baptized when I was 15 years old.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Not a cradle Catholic.
Oh really?
Yeah. So just before I was 15, before that I was just I guess you would say free thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I was young, my mom is Catholic. My mom is Filipino and she's Catholic,
Mhm.
but didn't really actually go to. Yay, Filipinos! Filipinos! So yeah, she wasn't actually going to church actually.
Oh really? Okay.
But and I grew up like just following my dad to the temple, something. So it's pretty much like a free thinker kind of thing.
Right.
And then something happened when I was in my teens, as I guess I would put it, like rebellious, stubborn and high spirited.
Right.
So my conversion happened there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different, like a whole, I think you can make it like a different series of podcasts for my whole story.
Yeah.
But yeah, my conversion started when I experienced the Father's personal message to me when I was 15 years old.
Wow.
At that time, I was like going through Sunday school just because my friends are there, but I didn't really like understand or like
Care.
Yeah, just going just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So at 15, I decided that I want to follow this God, this person that came from heaven to go through so much for me. That's amazing. And yeah, I fall off here and there,
Right.
but I think another turning point, my reversion, was when I was, I think, 18. Yeah, like I said, like my whole testimony is like a whole different story. But just trying to keep it brief. Yeah, but my whole my major turning point was when I decided, yes, I really want to take this faith seriously. Was when I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened then? Just like briefly, what happened in that time frame that made you want to come back?
I was going through a spiral of, I guess, depression, you would put it. Just something happened in my life at that point of time. And I didn't understand. I blame it on God that everything is happening to me. And I just didn't want to associate with church anymore. And I remember like there's this prayer or this just, yeah, I guess you would call it a prayer, but an expressive prayer of anger with God. Just because my mom was getting me to go for this church event or seminar kind of thing over the weekend, but I got so frustrated of it. So yeah, at that event that I eventually go to, God spoke to me, and through one of the speakers who I've never met and who have never known about this person before, and he spoke to me something that was so personal to me that never anyone else would know except God.
Wow.
And that was the point of time I said, holy shit, like he is real. Like I can never hide anything from him. He knows me. He loves me, and
that's awesome.
Everything set me off my feet.
That's awesome. Wow, that is beautiful.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, maybe we can have you back on and share your full testimony in a testimony podcast. So I'll be in touch about that. Yeah. So when did you start doing the art?
I started dabbling with calligraphy, brush calligraphy, I think late 2015 or so. It was one of those, I was in uni, and like I think you would call it like a summertime or kind of thing. I had like internship or some sort of like an odd job that was helping out a close family friend of mine. So I at that point, I'm so sorry if you're listening to this, ex-boss, but in the office, I was alone in the office. And it was a tools company, like, I'm not sure whether Irwin.
Okay. Yeah.
Irwin. It's like a wrench and all the screwdrivers and all the saws and everything like that.
Yeah. So
I was alone and there was nothing to do. I was done with the work. And I just stumbled upon all this get to know how to do brush calligraphy sort of thing.
On Instagram
and
or
so on YouTube.
On YouTube, okay.
Yeah. So ever since that, I started like practicing, and then like, wow, at first it was really bad. Like if you were to scroll down on my Instagram, it was really, really bad. But I found it as a way to meditate on the Word of God, and it was very, very it was very how to say effective for me.
Yeah.
Because if I were to have say for example I want to letter a verse,
Yeah.
I would keep repeating it in my head and started to ponder and chew on that word. And
That's awesome.
most of the time, by the middle of my piece, I would get something that God is speaking to me through that verse.
Wow.
So ever since that, I found that that is my go-to or routine when I had to have an sort of like expression of what I I enjoy doing, and just finding a lot of like, sometimes it's my getaway.
That's awesome.
Like a therapy kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's so
ever
cool.
since that, I started just posting, and that's just yeah.
So why'd you take the hiatus? You took a hiatus for like, you said 2 years?
Yeah. Oh man. I think before that it was crazy as well. Cause in the start, with the whole Instagram and the likes and the social media toxicity,
Sure.
sometimes it can get to you, you know?
Yeah.
Like in the beginning it's like you do it just you enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But I think along the way it just gets really toxic to your mind, and
Sure.
But at 2018 I was here and there, like before 2018, but I think at 2018 is also when I started my full-time job. I graduated and
nice.
finally got into the working world.
Yeah.
So it was hard juggling with everything.
Yeah.
Like the transition from a student life to a work life is crazy.
Oh yeah. It's so hard. I
so-
talk about it.
yeah,
It's so weird because like I remember. I mean, I graduated not too long before. I mean, I graduated in 2017, so we're probably around the same age. And I remember like after the first like 3 months, I just like I was done with school, but I was like, I have an assignment. I know I have an assignment that's due. Like some point, like, and it just felt like it was looming behind me somewhere. It's just gonna come out and like smack me. They're gonna take my my bachelor's away, and it's just like no, they can't do that. But like
Yeah.
maybe
so,
it was like 3 months, but it was like it felt like it was always in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Because for 3 years or 3 or 4 years, we go through the motion of having due dates and lectures and tutorials and just a change. And the whole corporate work life, it's really, really taxing.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why I didn't get to go into it as much. Yeah, but I think that two years plus was really, really good. Really, really good, because it's funny enough because before this COVID thing, where actually at the start, I think in Malaysia it was the start of the COVID thing.
Yeah.
And it started getting serious, but my family and I planned a trip to Australia. I think.
Oh my gosh, that's so
probably
funny.
9 months in advance in March.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Why Australia? Did you have family there or something, or just wanted to go there?
Yeah, I do. I
Oh,
had two
cool.
aunties back there. Yeah. So
Awesome. Turns out you're related to Quayne and her family.
Never know.
Never know. That's funny.
Yeah. So it was there when I felt like God really spoke to me and revealed to me this area that I have kept buried for a long time. Yeah.
To come back into it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is that when you made the name change too, or did you make the name change before you left from Therese Wrights to, or Little Flower
Little
Wrights?
Flower. Yeah. So the name change was the reason of like City on a Hill is also goes back to, well, it's a long journey. 2018, either 2018 or 2017, where I don't know if you know Baguio.
Yeah.
Baguio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Philippines.
Um, yeah, in the Philippines. So, in that year, I went back to visit my family.
Nice.
My grandmother, who was celebrating her birthday,
Uh-huh.
um, and she was living with my auntie in Baguio,
Yeah.
and I was so touched and so I love the Philippines. I've always loved it so
Mm-hmm.
much. Um, my family back there in the Philippines aren't like wealthy or what, but
Mm.
I've always felt at home and I could be myself with
Nice.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Filipinos
in
have this
Baguio,
sense of hospitality,
yeah, yeah. It's always more fun in the Philippines.
Right.
Cliche, but
Unless you look American, then if you really have an American accent, they're like it's dangerous because people are like trying to haggle you for money and stuff.
oh yeah. I get to like that as well.
Oh, really?
That the approach, that way they look at you and
Yeah.
how you dress. Yeah,
Okay.
I get that as well.
That's the hard.
Yeah.
That's the only hard part. And I haven't been there since I was 3, but all my cousins and
Oh.
family relatives like that's the hardest thing. So you go back there, yeah. Even if my parents they see them as wealthy. I mean we're not.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're in America, you've made it. In their eyes.
True. Yeah,
So.
yeah. And a lot of people would like to they see that like the Hollywood dream kind of thing.
Right.
So
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, so it started from there, Baguio, where I see like, man, Baguio City is like just compacted on hill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because I think that was the only time where it really opened my eyes to the beauty of Baguio.
Right.
Yeah, so it hit me, and then I also in that period of time I was introduced, or like perhaps the scripture that touched me was that the light under the bushel took place on a city to let your light shine.
Right.
And previously it started off with an inspiration from Saint Therese.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Little Flower Rites.
Right.
But I think
So I keep on
throughout
calling
the
it
years-
Therese Rights, but
That's all right. That's all right. So throughout the years, although I haven't like been active, but it has always been at the back of my mind.
Right.
So I started off like, wow, like being a light on a city to let his light shine it really spoke to me.
Yeah.
So I sort of like created a different a new handle, City on a Hill Co. On a new account actually.
Oh,
To
really?
start off with this to share the word of God through tangible ways, because I think in Malaysia it's
that.
really lacking
Sure.
in terms of like, hey, someone is going through a confirmation or baptism, and sometimes we brainstorm on what to give them.
Yeah.
Like a nice gift, a Christian gift.
Right.
And I think over the years as a Catholic, I've always seen, man, like there's so many cool and pretty things in the States.
Yeah.
And the different things that they provide, the different ways of gifts.
Right.
It's very lacking here in Malaysia.
Sure.
So I thought like, wow. So I thought of creating this avenue for people to share the goodness, beauty, and truth through tangible ways, whether it's t-shirts or prints or stickers or something like that.
That's
Yeah.
so great. I love that. That's really cool. I mean, I love that when I saw your account, I was like, oh, that's such a great saying. Like, showing the truth and beauty of God in tangible ways. Because, like, yeah, God already makes like beautiful things, right? But like, as to be more like Christ is to create, right? And to be an artist. There's a quote that I love by John Paul II. We're gonna actually reflect on it this weekend on for my writers.
Wow.
Through his artistic creativity, man appears more ever than in the image of God. And
Wow.
right? It's like
Powerful.
just like, when we express our creation, and we create, we we mimic God's creation of earth and of life. And so, I love seeing artists, I love seeing, musicians, painters, like water, all these things. I just love when people are so expressive with their stuff. And so like what your quote was, like, very beautiful to me as well. It's so great. So we're gonna take a break right here, and we'll be right back with more with Amanda. Okay.
Yeah.
So at this part of the podcast, I'd like to promote a little bit something to kind of have an ad, whether it be a friend of mine and we're collaborating on something, or I just promote something of the podcast. So today I'm just promoting the podcast, but if you would like to collaborate and do something like that, advertise your little shop, your Etsy shop, whatever the case may be, send me a DM or an email and we can work it out. So if you enjoyed listening to Living Ardently and would like to support us in some way, and would like to maybe support us financially, that is always welcome. We don't have a Patreon just yet. We're going to be working on that later on, but we do have a way for you to support us financially through Anchor, which is where we post our podcast, which is our podcast host website. So like if you want to support us doing $1 a month, a couple dollars a month, a few, I don't know, whatever you're able to, and would like to support the everything that you give goes directly back into the podcast, whether it's subscriptions, equipment, anything like that, it goes directly back into the production of the podcast. So any support and any support is very welcome and appreciated. And if you can't support us financially, please just keep praying for us and the podcast. We appreciate all the support you can get, liking, listening, all that you do. Thank you again. And yeah, let's get on with the rest of the show. So we are back with more with our guest from Malaysia, Amanda Pasawa Lee. And we're going to talk more a little bit about your art and stuff. So one of the questions I love to ask my guest is, how has your ministry, this art, your artwork and your Instagram, like, how is this ministry, how has it helped your relationship with God?
Ooh. Yeah, I think I kind of like briefly mentioned just now how I dabble into this calligraphy thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to also, just to emphasize that, because reading the Word of God is just, if we were to just read it and just like a storybook, that could be one.
Right.
But we are also called to dive in. We're called to study, to really live out the Word.
Right.
And how to live out the Word if we do not know fully the Word.
Right.
So through this art, really, it just made me chew and meditate. And it's some sort of like a lectio divina for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that earlier. I was like, it's like you're meditating upon it, you're wording it as you like think about the writing of it. Like, that's kind of like lectio.
Yeah, but it's a very different form. Like, and sometimes the verses just has sort of like an imagery of, if God says, I am the bread of life,
Right.
But what is the bread of life? Like, how does it taste like? Like, is he really the bread of life? Things like that, like questions that goes through your mind.
Yeah.
And in that process, I just ask the Holy Spirit to, speak to me, like show me the bread of life.
Right.
Yeah. So I think from there, my prayer life began to be more, deepened.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just the readings of the day.
Right.
But totally taking that time to create at the same time to meditate.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like you are doing more of God's, like, becoming more in the image of God, not only by like meditating upon His Word, but like creating these things. Like like you're meditating not only on His Word, but you're also creating such beautiful art with it, to kind of share that message. And like you said, like showing the truth and beauty in tangible ways, and quite literally a tangible art piece,
Yeah. And another thing that I would say also, it's through this Instagram or this community, internet community.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when something hit me during a piece, I would share it in my caption.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep it as short as possible, but most of the time they are like really long because God
Yeah.
just speaks and speaks and speaks.
Right.
But yeah, most times I just allow it to flow and be paired with that the reason, the story behind that particular piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a lot of DMs, a lot of comments on how that piece, that caption really moved them.
Right.
And it's crazy because, wow, it feels, I connect like so much deeper with other creators or other people just stumble upon my account that my art piece just made an impact in that person's life. And it's very, very, it's like, I cannot even do this without God. So.
Right. That's so great.
Yeah.
I think it's so great is that, you know, I was talking I always talk about vulnerability. And I think that, you know, when you write these captions, it's a sense of being, you know, you're being vulnerable. You're sharing what was on your heart. And so I think that's what attracts people. That's what, I mean, obviously, we're made to be in communion. And so when someone is able to share their heart, I think that's why like these big Catholic Instagrammers get big, because they're sharing their heart. Like I interviewed Megan Wells, and she has like quite a following right now on Instagram. And when I was talking to her, she's like, I kind of just built it because I was honest, you know, like because I was being vulnerable. I would share my life and people would follow. I don't know, like, and you know, like obviously I got connected with this bigger community of Instagram, Catholic Instagram, and you know, Catholic Instagram is just a very beautiful community of people that's better than other Catholic like Facebook, Catholic Twitter. Like Catholic Instagram is so much more fruitful than any of those two.
Yep.
Or any other, like even YouTube, Catholic YouTube isn't even that great, you know. And so I think because of your vulnerability in your posts is how you've kind of gained that following, and you know, that's why people are so attracted to your art and stuff like that. It's like you're showing your heart through your art, you know.
Wow. Wow, sharing my art through my heart and to make up, yeah. I saw this somewhere, like without art, heart will be
That's true. It's true. We would have really boring lives. Speaking of art, you have stuff that you're trying to like sell, right? You said you're trying to do mugs and shirts. You have a T-shirt that you're wearing right now.
Yeah, I am. I'm wearing this T-shirt which is totally homemade and handmade.
Nice.
Like obviously the shirt I did not sew it, but these are all handwritten. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, handwritten, hand lettered, and just did it at home.
That's awesome.
I'm selling.
So
yeah.
Did you do you have a website? You can buy these things?
It's actually in the pipeline.
Okay.
It's so hard, yeah. But I'm working on that because previously when I launched it, I think late last year, I got myself into a whole lot of mess, like unintended mess. Because I said, I can do this, DM me your orders and things like that. But it's like,
there's a high demand.
Overwhelming. It was alright, but at that point of time, I was juggling with a full time, and I did not expect the response. So I think like in my head was like a website would actually help to filter those orders out for me to do and be more efficient. Right. Yeah.
So you're
yeah, but I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, if it happens, I'll share it on Instagram to kind of get some orders in there. That's awesome. Do you have a favorite like art that you've done? Like a few favorite ones? Or your top 3?
Oh, okay. I think my favorite by far is the one I posted on Good Friday.
Let's see if I can find it.
The one with the cross and like a red splatter.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah, because I did not expect that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You can get it lower. Hold on.
I think I got a lot of people DMing me on that and saying that would like that as a print, but the whole, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah, that is beautiful.
I just had that picture in my mind,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
yeah, I think that was by far the best because it really moved me when I was even
Did you?
drawing that piece.
Yeah, and this is done on an iPad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's done on the iPad, and
That's awesome.
I'm not like great on the iPad because I bought the iPad I think a year plus back, but I haven't actually used it until the COVID thing happened.
That's awesome, though. I love this one.
Thanks.
I love this one too.
Which one? Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
That's really great.
It's really something that I have learned during this period of time. Like as I was saying, like how previously how my mindset shifted, like
Yeah.
from just sharing, and then suddenly the social media toxicity just came about.
Right.
And yeah, in this period of time, I realized that to encourage and build one another up is so important.
Right.
And that's the fruit of like the, I would say the essentials, bread and butter in a community.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so great. What is your, so outside of maybe this, I mean, what is your goal for this ministry, for this? Do you want to continue it? I mean, obviously you started during COVID. Do you, I mean, I know you were talking about it, but is this a plan that you want to continue on and stuff?
Yes, I definitely want to continue this on. Because for me at the end of the day, it's not really how many likes and followers, or
Right, exactly.
if I can, it'll be great. It's a bonus if it gets big, or
Right.
if it's a bonus if I get to make a living out of this. But
Right.
that is hopefully, if God sees that is his plan, then let it unfold and in
Sure.
his time.
Yeah.
But in this point of time, I'm giving my best. I hope to continue to just sharing his goodness, beauty, and truth in tangible ways.
Right.
I'm not sure how to juggle with a full-time job and this. I think it will be a transitioning time as well.
Right.
But yeah, I do see this ministry to impact lives.
Yeah.
And to bring about a new conversation with one another in the Malaysian Catholic community.
Right. I mean, international, honestly. Like, I think that, I mean, with what you have, what you do, I hope that you're able to keep up with it, and I pray that you're able to juggle it, because I don't think there's a bunch of Catholic artists out there that share their stuff. Pax Valerie, Oodles of Doodles, Ali, like all these great artists too, but like there's not, like, even still, there's not enough art out there in the world, right? That's my opinion. I'm of the opinion of, like,
yes.
There's not enough art out there. And if you're an artist, keep creating. Like, keep on doing it. If you're anyone, keep creating, because like it's again, like I said, it's like it's what brings us more to our identity, and it makes us form ourselves in the image of God, right? And so I'm going to, like, make sure you're posting. Like, I'm gonna say, like, if you're not posting for like a week, I'm gonna DM you, like, hey, where's your post?
Oh yes, my accountability person.
I'm gonna be checking on that. So if you don't post within like a week, I'm gonna have a notification in your DM saying, hey,
yes, thank you,
show me some art.
Thank you.
Awesome. So what is your message to people who are also in this kind of, like, in ministry, or in art, and who love art? What is your message out to these people?
Wow, I just recently posted this series of encouraging people to just start on, I think, last week on my Instagram. So yeah, if you are an artist that is already creating, continue to create.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that you aspire and like, whoa, and so inspired, if whatever accounts that you're following really wants to bring that inner artist inside you,
Yeah.
just do it, because as you put it beautifully, like that phrase that Pope St. John Paul II is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like it really brings you, it's like you're co-creating with
Right.
the divine creator.
Right.
So
good.
that is just amazing. Just whatever that you do, if you cook,
Right.
and if you create art, if you sing, post videos, share your voice with everyone. What is
A
that?
cookbook.
I am Filipino.
It's a cookbook.
Oh wow! A cookbook!
Yeah.
Wow!
My girlfriend just got it for me, so I'm super excited. I'm gonna be a cook.
Yes, praise the Lord.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Keep on going.
No, that's alright. That's alright. But yeah. If whatever that you're at in your journey,
Yeah.
to create anything, any small thing,
Right.
you can do it with so much love
Yeah.
and so much joy,
Right.
and just bring more beauty, goodness, and truth in the world today,
Right.
which is very much needed.
Yeah, there's not, like I said earlier, there's not enough artists out there. Everything, like, not enough people sharing their art. So keep on keeping on, y'all. Keep on sharing your art.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
We love
and
this.
if you guys share, just hit me a DM and share with me, tag me, and
Yeah.
I'll be sure to encourage and to support you in this journey.
Awesome. Praise the Lord. So last thing, what are some people, like other accounts that you want to shout out, that are, maybe artists or, whoever you're close with, like Instagram?
Okay. I have two in mind.
Okay, go
at the
for it.
moment.
Yeah.
This is one. It's a friend of mine who is in Penang. It's in a different state.
Okay.
And he and his ministry is a music ministry. It's called let me see.
Yeah.
Seeds Music Ministry, I believe. So on Instagram it's SEEDSMUSIC Ministry, Seeds Music Ministry.
Mhm.
They're not really active, but recently during the COVID, they've been having like live sessions of not really podcasts, just live sessions of chit chatting. People
Yeah.
send in questions and things like that.
Nice.
But the person that I know who is in this ministry, he has like his life is a miracle itself. He was supposed to die,
Oh my
literally. Yeah, and just recently it was Divine Mercy, and that was
Wow.
his really he has a very his name is Paul.
Uh-huh.
And he has a great devotion to the Divine Mercy, because that is what brought him back, and the
Wow.
prayers of the people, the community. So
Wow.
I would say shout out to the Seeds Music Ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is recently I followed one I think it's New Gens Catholic, if you heard of it before. It's let me see. New Gens. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
they're just posting different youths, different young people across, I think, the States or something like that. But it's so uplifting. They share their story, and then
So
yeah,
cool.
just these two accounts that's currently I would like to encourage
Wow.
them, and they're growing, and
That's so
it's
cool.
amazing.
I mean, as a youth minister, that's really uplifting to see. So I love that. Oh, cute. Anyway,
Praise the Lord.
awesome. Cool. Amanda, you're awesome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Adrian.
Thank you for sharing your
Do I
art.
pronounce Adrian?
Adrian, yeah.
Adrian.
Yeah. I mean, there's different ways to say it. I mean, but Adrian's the way I respond to. So yeah, thank you. You were so great. Thank you for sharing your art with us. Oh, I'm gonna again, like I said, I'm gonna keep you accountable and make sure you keep posting. And make sure those of you listening and watching on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening, make sure you follow Amanda at City on a Hill Co. The links to everything will be in the description, or if you're on Apple, like you can like literally just click on the link and it'll take you right there. If you're on Google or anywhere else, like you might just have to type it in on Instagram, City on a Hill Co. Make sure you're following. If you're not, I'm gonna hunt you down. Another thing is if you see her not posting, just like me, send her a DM and be like, "Yo, Amanda, where you at? Why'd you ghost us? And why are you depriving us from your artwork?"
I learned this word. It's like, do you guys use flaky?
Flaky, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm like, what is flaky? And then someone just like on YouTube explaining what flaky is. Like, oh, interesting. That's a new term I learned. But yeah, that's like ghosting, right?
Ghosting is like you just stop responding, like you go.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, hit me a DM. I'd be more willing to even respond to you, to help you in your journey, or even to hold me accountable from my art.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow her, City at the Hill Co. Follow the podcast at Living Ardently. Follow me personally at It's Only Adrian. Make sure you subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you want to listen. But if you're listening on Apple, it would be so great if you leave us a review and a rating. That helps us big time. And if you are listening or watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not listening on YouTube, go to YouTube, look up Living Ardently Podcast, and subscribe to us. We love your support there. We're going to try to add video components to everything that we do. And yeah, cool.
Yes. Thank you so much, Adrian, as well. And shout out to Living Ardently.
Thank you
for creating such uplifting content for the world today.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Hopefully I know we're slowly rolling back into the steam of things, which will be great, and hopefully the world will change with this time of like isolation. Hopefully our hearts are converted, So thanks to all for listening. If you want to support the podcast and financially, I don't have a Patreon, but I do have a way where you can support monthly, a dollar, couple dollars, however you want to. Just go to the link in the description. Your support is great. Everything that you donate will go straight back to the podcast. I am a youth minister, so I don't make that much, but I do like to keep the quality high and the content coming. Not that I will stop if I don't get donations, but any support is always welcome. So make sure you do that if you are able and willing. And yeah, thanks y'all for listening. Thank you again, Amanda, for coming on. So great. Across the world. I'm in Florida. She's in Malaysia. Crazy. I was like, it was funny is like when I messaged you, it's like, oh, what time zone are you in? Thinking that you would say like, oh, Eastern Pacific or something like that. And like GMT +8. I'm like, what is that? So I'm like, it's like 11 p.m. I was like, 11 p.m.? I was like, it's 11 a.m. my time. What the heck? Are you across the world? And that's when I found out you're in Malaysia. So Living Ardently's international now.
That's so good. Yeah. That's so good.
So thanks again for coming. Thanks for all for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are doing well. And until Friday, keep living ardently. Peace.